Jules Verne's classic tale, Around the World in 80 Days. Phileas Fogg is a proper English gentleman who plays the card game whist with his friends at the Reform Club during the day and by himself at night in his big, fancy townhouse on London's Savile Row. Fogg doesn't have a wife or kids, and he stays to himself most of the time. Fogg is very shy, so everywhere he goes there is an air of mystery around him. He doesn't show what's on his mind or in his heart. From 8:23 a.m. to 9:40 a.m., Fogg does the same things every day. He has tea and toast, shaves, and gets ready. He gets up at 11:30 a.m. and goes to the Reform Club with his friends. He comes back home at midnight. He has hundreds of clocks and watches that all work together perfectly. In October 1872, Fogg fires his servant for giving him shaving water that is 2 degrees too cold. Soon after, a Frenchman named Jean Passepartout shows up looking for work. Fogg hires him right away, even though he's 4 minutes late. Passepartout's first job is to get Fogg ready to leave the house by 11:30 a.m. It makes Passepartout feel better to see that Fogg's house is in order. Following his firing for being drunk at work, he was looking for a more peaceful existence. Passepartout has worked hard as a fireman, a circus artist, and a gym teacher, and now he just wants to rest. He feels even better when he sees that Fogg's clothes and shoes are labeled with the months they should be worn. For Passepartout, Fogg must be some kind of machine-like person. As Fogg and his friends played whist at the club that morning, they heard that a thief dressed as a gentleman had taken £55,000 from the Bank of England. Andrew Stewart, a member, says that the thief is probably long gone because the world is so big and there are so many places to hide. This comment makes Fogg curious. The world was once big, but not anymore, Fogg says. He says that thanks to improvements in transportation, you can now go around the world in 80 days. His friends make fun of him, which makes him more determined to take a risk. He bets £20,000, which is all the money he has saved, that he can travel around the world in 80 days. These guys agree to meet him at the Reform Club 80 days later, on December 21st at 8:45 p.m. in the same room and at the same time, or they will collect the bet. At the same time, Detective Fix of the London Police has an idea that Fogg is really the thief after hearing about Fogg's high-profile bet. People start to believe Fix's story, which is probably because Fogg is so shy and quiet that not many people know much about him. The prize of £2,000 and 5% of the money found makes Fix even more determined to catch Fogg. Fix follows Fogg on his travels. The first place he stops is in Suez, Egypt, where he waits for a warrant to arrest Fogg to come. Fogg keeps going around the world with Passepartout following him and Fix close behind. Soon, Fogg gets to India, but he finds that transportation hasn't changed as much as he thought it had, so he has to ride an elephant for part of the way. At one point, Fogg sees Hindu priests on their way to sacrificing a person. With Passepartout's help, he stops them from killing an English woman named Uda. Uda goes on the trip with the guys. Fix keeps up with the group and sets up events with locals and consuls to hold them up. When Passepartout breaks the law by wearing shoes in a Hindu pagoda, Fix sets it up so that the Hindus take him to court and charge and punish Fogg instead. The scheme fails because the rich Fogg is able to secure bail for himself and Passepartout. As they go through Singapore on their way to Hong Kong, the group avoids obstacles and still makes good time. Fix finally tells Passepartout who he is and why he thinks Fogg is a criminal. He wants Passepartout to help him hold Fogg until the arrest warrant comes. Passepartout is shocked and, to show his boss he is loyal, refuses to work with Fix. Later, though, Passepartout gives in because he knows Fix can help them get to London faster, which makes it more likely that Fogg will win the bet. As the group heads toward Japan, Passepartout spends the day with a group of clowns. They then cross the Pacific and arrive in San Francisco. As Fogg, Passepartout, and Neruda travel across America, they face problems that are similar to those they fought in India. Americans who are too loud insult Fogg, and the local Sioux tribes attack him. He also has to deal with weak bridges, broken transportation, and sledge rides across snowy, wolf-infested plains. When the group finally gets to New York, they find that the last boat to England has already left. Fogg comes up with a plan to get them to Bordeaux, France, but Captain Speedy doesn't want to go. So Fogg takes charge of Speedy's ship and steers it toward Liverpool. At sea, when fuel runs short, Fogg gives the order to destroy pieces of the ship so they can finish the journey. Fogg is very upset that he gets to London too late, after all the crazy, risky things he did and the hundreds of pounds he spent trying to get back in time. He lost the bet. The next day, he stays in his room instead of going to the Reform Club, where the guys are waiting to get their money. Encouraged by Fogg's wistfulness, Neruda asks him if he'd want to marry her. She still loves Fogg very much and wants to be with him, even though he is poor now. With a tear in his eye, Fogg agrees to marry Neruda and tells her, "I love you." Reverend Wilson is sent Passepartout to make plans for their wedding. While speaking with Reverend Wilson, Passepartout discovers that it is actually a day sooner than he thought. Because Passepartout refused to change his watch to local time zones, they gained a day around the world. Fogg goes to the club to notify his buddies that he has won. This marks the conclusion of the extraordinary adventure chronicled in Around the World in 80 Days. As Phileas Fogg proudly announces his victory to his incredulous friends at the club, Jules Verne's timeless tale celebrates the indomitable spirit of human endeavor and the enduring power of friendship.